Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Danish Prime Minister Frederiksen emphasized need for full implementation of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. Egypt emphasizes that regional peace requires the international community to recognize equal rights for all in the region. And the Egyptian foreign minister discusses Palestinian issue with the OIC foreign ministers. You're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews. Let's move on to the latest developments. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen have emphasized the need for full implementation of all three phases of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. The two leaders also reaffirmed the importance of establishing a Palestinian state based on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. The discussions included strengthening bilateral relations, especially in the areas of economic cooperation, investment in renewable energy, with a focus on Egypt's green hydrogen production. They also addressed regional stability, covering issues in Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, and the security of commercial shipping in Bab el-Mandab. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has chaired the 42nd session of the Ouda and IPAD Steering Committee via video conference, where he reviewed the agency's activities for 2024. Egypt assumed the presidency of NEPAD's steering committee from Rwanda's president, Paul Kagame. Discussions concerned and centered on the feasibility study for the African Development Fund and the second 10-year plan of Agenda 2063, focusing on key challenges such as poverty, unemployment, and declining food, water, and energy security. Egypt has stressed that the regional and global peace can only be achieved if the international community recognizes the equal rights of all people in the region. In a statement from the Egyptian Foreign Ministry, Egypt reaffirmed its support for the Palestinian people's right to live in peace on their land and called for an end to historical injustices. The country urged the international community to restore the Palestinians' rights. Egypt has further emphasized the need for a unified political approach to resolve the Palestinian issue, rejecting violations of their rights, including the right to self-determination and the right of refugees to return. It warned that ignoring international legitimacy threatens regional peace and also reiterated its commitment to a just solution, which includes the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration Badr Abdulati has held talks with several foreign ministers from Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OIC member states, including Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Iran, and Jordan, to discuss developments regarding the Palestinian cause. The discussions led to an initial agreement to hold an emergency ministerial meeting of the OIC following the extraordinary Arab Summit, which is scheduled in Cairo on February the 27th. The meeting aims to reaffirm the consistent Palestinian, Arab, and Islamic stance on the Palestinian issue and the unhold of the rights of the Palestinian people, foremost among them the right to self-determination and to live in their own homeland. Minister Badr Abdulati holds meetings with U.S. officials in Washington, emphasizing two-state solution, Gaza ceasefire and regional security. During his visit, Abdulati discussed key issues including Sudan's conflict, Syria's transition, Lebanon's stability, and Libya's need for a unified government. The Egyptian minister also highlighted economic reforms, trade cooperation, and regional security topics in talks with Senators Collins, Graham, and Childs, and Congressman Balrart. Abdulati addressed these matters at the Hudson Institute and in meetings with U.S. officials like Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration Badr Abdulati has met with U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff, and National Security Council Coordinator for the Middle East and the North Africa Brett McCurg in Washington. The meeting focused on strengthening Egypt's U.S. ties and cooperation on shared issues. Minister Abdulati praised the long-standing relationship and expressed hope for continued collaboration. They also discussed the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, especially Gaza's worsening situation, with Abdulati emphasizing Egypt's efforts to uphold the ceasefire, provide humanitarian aid, and prevent Palestinian displacement. He also stressed the need for a political solution to establish a Palestinian state along the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Al-Qahira News Channel has reported that 14 fuel trucks have entered Gaza from Egypt. The channel also confirmed that 158 trucks carrying medical and food supplies have crossed into Gaza through the Karam Abu Salim and Al-Auja border crossings. This aid delivery coincides with the ongoing ceasefire and its implementation efforts. Spanish firm World Health Management has proposed establishing a medical data center in Egypt with an estimated investment of $1.8 billion aimed at serving the Arab region. Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade Hassan Al-Khatib emphasized the roles in advancing medical technology and Egypt's commitment to healthcare digitalization during talks with the WHM executives. WHM is exploring the possibility of making Egypt a strategic hub for the Arab region by leveraging its market potential and partnering with the Ministry of Communications to attract investors. Dr. Mohammed Azmin, president of the International Social Security Association, has described Egypt's hosting of the Social Security Administration Innovation Conference as a pivotal step towards improving services. He praised Egypt's progress in social insurance, highlighting programs like the Takaful and Karama, which benefit 22 million people, and the 100 Million Health Initiative that tackled the hepatitis C. Dr. Azmin also commended Egypt's leadership in advancing social security despite global economic challenges and the impact of the COVID-19, emphasizing the crucial role of the security institutions in driving change and ensuring sustainability. Egypt's Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli has met with Agriculture Minister Ala Farouk to review the minister's efforts on several fronts. The Prime Minister stressed the need to keep agriculture products affordable nationwide. Minister Farouk confirmed that the ministry is supplying goods through 14 exhibitions, fixed and mobile outlets, and expanding to remote areas. He also highlighted efforts to support farmers with technical assistance, quality seeds, and subsidized fertilizers. Farouk further outlined ongoing efforts to increase crop yields by expanding cultivated land. Cairo Governor Dr. Ibrahim Sabir has highlighted achievements of the Women Field Training Program in Cairo. The program, part of the Women Lead for Executives initiative run by the National Training Academy, took place from January 13 to February the 10th. The governor of Egypt highlighted the program's alignment with President Fattah al-Sisi's directives to empower women across various sectors. He also emphasized the importance of such initiatives for shaping a sustainable future in line with Egypt's Vision 2030, noting that it's crucial for women to assume leadership roles in the political, social, and economic spheres. Egypt's Minister of Justice, Councillor Adnan Fanjari, has met with Saudi Arabia Attorney General Sheikh Saud bin Abdullah and Saudi Ambassador to Egypt, Salah bin Eid Al Husseini, to discuss enhancing bilateral cooperation in the judicial field. The meeting focused on strengthening ties between the Egyptian Ministry of Justice and the Saudi Public Prosecution, with an emphasis on exchanging legal expertise, training, and judicial cooperation. The Saudi Attorney General expressed his appreciation for Egypt's efforts to modernize its justice system and its role in fostering regional legal cooperation. Egypt's Environment Minister Dr. Yasmin Fouad has met with Japan's ambassador to Cairo to discuss expanding cooperation in climate change mitigation and reducing plastic waste. Dr. Fouad praised Egypt's long-standing cooperation with Japan on environmental initiatives and reaffirmed the country's commitment to the Paris Climate Agreement, despite contributing less than 1% of global emissions. She outlined key initiatives, including the Update National Climate Change Strategy 2050 and efforts to integrate climate finance into development priorities. Dr. Fouad also emphasized Egypt's leadership in representing developing countries in climate finance, especially for marine biodiversity preservation in the Red Sea. The Suez Canal Economic Zone showed a net profit increase of approximately 40% from July 2024 to December 2024 compared to the same period in the previous year. The Suez Canal Zone chairman announced the total investments in industrial service, logistics, and port-related projects reached $8.081 billion across 255 projects. He noted that 366 companies have been established, with 68 operating licenses and 131 building permits issued recently. Port-related investments amounted to $1.509 billion across 10 projects. Between July 2023 and January 2025, 12 projects worth $511 million were implemented in Qantara West, creating over 21,000 jobs. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here's what we have been covering. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Danish Prime Minister emphasized need for full implementation of Gaza ceasefire agreement. Egypt emphasizes that regional peace requires the international community to recognize equal rights for all in the region. And the Egyptian Foreign Minister discusses Palestinian issue with the OIC foreign ministers. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Thank you for watching.